October is my favorite month when it comes to building a TBR. I'm not a seasonal reader per se, but come October, I definitely am. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brie and this is 4 Paws in a Book. I'm here to talk to you about my October TBR. Now, if you watched my last video, you know that I've been going through some stuff. Life has been lifing. It has not been a great couple of weeks, month or so. And so I have decided I'm not going to be playing Kerplunk for October. It'll be back in November, don't worry, but I need a break. I need a month off. I need a month to do what I want. And what I want is to play the BookTuber bingo from TBR Harvest that's hosted by Leandra from Leandra the TBR Zero. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. So here is my bingo board. I am doing a bingo board at number 10. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm going to link her video down below. It's obviously not too late to join. It's a really fun readathon. The community aspect is amazing and I'm very excited about it. So I'm going to be doing bingo and I'm going to be building my TBR for that. So as of filming this, 2 of the rounds of like the bingo numbers have been chosen and I think they're going to be doing it, she's going to be doing it throughout the month. So we'll be adding to our bingo board as we go, but here's what I'm going to be starting the month out with. And then I'm going to be doing a vlog style wrap up as I read these books, as I check off the bingo, and that way, you kind of see what I'm doing. Now I'm doing a couple of other things in October, so this is not going to be the only vlog that you see from me. I'm also participating in Halloween that is hosted by Lexi from Books with Lexi. Now this only happens Thursday through Sunday, so I'm going to be doing different vlogs for those specifically because there's a lot of like activity prompts and stuff that you do along with that. So I'm not going to be picking any books for that. However, there might be some overlap. That's like a game board. We're going to be working our way through this haunted house, trying to catch the ghost. And so I'm going to be vlogging each weekend for that one. And then I'm also hosting a Patreon readathon that is for the top 3 tiers of my Patreon. So Barks and Books and higher. And this one is really fun. It's called Fright Night, but really it's like more spooky themed than spooky. And basically, we're going to be going trick-or-treating, and so it's a choose-your-own-adventure, and you get to pick the costume that you want, you get to pick the house that we're going to go to, you're picking our little animal friend who is also dressed up, and our ghost friend, you get to pick the candy bag, all this stuff, so there's prompts for that. So I'm going to be doing a vlog for that as well. That's a lot of stuff happening on the channel for someone who said I was going to take a step back for the month. But I couldn't resist because it's October and I love spooky season. It is what it is, okay? We're just gonna go with it. If not everything happens in the month, that's okay, but I like having plans. I like having ideas. And I'm glad that my creative energy is starting to come back a little bit. So let's talk about this bingo board. Let's talk about the prompts that I have already decided on, or like the numbers that have come up that are on my board. If you're playing along at home, I am using a bingo board at number 10. The reason I chose that one is because my prompt came up this past round and I wanted to do my own prompt. So I picked this one. So the first prompt that was chosen that is on my board is B11. And the prompt for that is an underrated vampire. This is such a perfect seasonal read and I'm very excited about the one that I picked. I love a good vampire romantasy. There are a lot of them. Not all of them are underrated though. Like I can't go with Carissa Broadbent for this, but I do have one that I think is going to work perfectly. The book that I'm going to be choosing for this is going to be The Monster in the Last Blood Match by K.A. Lind. First off, let's have a moment for the page. The cover, stunning, love it. I kind of picked this one up kind of on a whim. It sounded interesting. It kind of is giving House of Hunger vibes, but like make it romantasy. Power, hunger, obsession. For Raina Carpenter, giving up her body isn't a choice, it's survival. So she's a human in this world where humans are currency, vampires rule from the shadows. So she accepts a high-paying position to essentially be like the blood bank for these vampires. She's a live-in blood escort, that's what it's called. But anyways, she expects to become his next meal, but Beckham won't drink from her. He keeps his distance, his unreadable gaze shadowed by something far more dangerous than just desire. As the nights passed, Raina begins to sense it, an invisible war being waged around her, secrets that twist through the corridors of Visage, and whispers of something far more valuable than power. it sounds like it's going to be really, really interesting. I am very excited about it. Then the next one that came up was G55. For this one, I'm going to be reading Dawn of Chaos and Fury by Melissa K. Rourke. I've technically already started this one. I'm only like less than 10% of the way into it. This is the fourth book in the Reign of Shadows and Endings, the Legacy series by Melissa K. Rourke, which is by and away my favorite book of the year. And so this is the final chapter. It comes out in November, but I was able to get an arc of it and like, oh my gosh. Here's the thing. I'm 10% of the way into it and I'm already highlighting things on my Kindle. So like I know that this is going to make me feel things. And I don't know that I'm ready to feel those things. But here we are anyways. The next one that came up was I-24, and that prompt is a fantasy genre blend. So fantasy horror, fantasy romance, and obviously that's what I'm going to be doing. And so I'm going to be reading One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I read The Night and the Moth last month and really, really liked it. It was really good. The writing is beautiful, and I know that this one is going to have the same because that's one of the things like everybody praises about this one. So really excited to pick this one up. I have been so tempted to purchase the new editions of One Dark Window, but I'm not going to until I read them. I know that this one is like also stunning, but the new ones, the new cover is really pretty as well. So we'll see what happens after I read this. If I love it, then we'll talk about which edition I want. But this is a like gothic romantasy, and the poem on the back is just it's beautiful. It's beautiful. There once was a girl, clever and good, who tarried in shadow in depths of the wood. There was also a king, a shepherd by his crook, who reigned over magic and wrote the old book. The two were together, so the two were the same. The girl, the king, and the monster they became. Stunning, iconic. I cannot wait to pick this up. It's going to be perfect for like the fall vibes. The next one is G58. The prompt is a book that was impulsively added to your TBR. I don't have a book for this one yet, but I know I'm going like I'll pick one, but I want to actually like impulsively add it to my TBR. So something on Kindle Unlimited, something that I see on TikTok, like something that like other people are talking about that I want to read. I don't know. That's what we're going to go with. We're going to impulsively add something to the TBR. So you'll have to check back for my wrap up to see what I chose. The next one is 061. The prompt is to read a middle grade book or a book by an author who also writes middle grade, and I really, really appreciate that addition to the prompt because I don't read middle grade. I have historically, I have read it in the past, and there are some that I have really liked, but it's definitely not something that like I'm in the mood for right now. Even the like spooky middle grade, I wasn't like really excited about. However, Django Wexler writes middle grade. He has a middle grade series, and there is a like fantasy sci-fi series that I'm really interested in that has a second book coming out, I want to say by the end of the year or like early into 2026. I don't know. It came up on my like, hey, this author has an upcoming release. But anyways, I haven't read the first one. So I'm going to be reading Last Stop by Django Wexler. This is a shorter book. I think it's only like 200 and something pages. I have it on my Kindle, and it's kind of more like science fiction, which I really liked his science fiction when I read Hard Reboot a couple of years ago. Really enjoyed that one. And this one kind of has like almost a steampunk feel to it, but obviously like in a like future timeline. I absolutely love Django Wexler's writing. There's very little he can do wrong. I mean, I didn't like the new series that he's writing, but it's just like not my style. But Ashes of the Sun, like phenomenal. Probably one of the best fantasy books I've ever read. It has really strong characters, the character dynamics and the relationships and stuff. Everything is really, really well fleshed out, even in the shorter books. So I have no doubt I'm going to enjoy this one. And I think it'll be a really good one for something like Halloween because it is a shorter book. And I tend to want to like read shorter books, quicker books when I am doing these like weekend readathons. The next prompt is G51, and this is to read a book that was set in New Zealand or by a New Zealand author. Guess what? Stasia Stark is a New Zealand author. So the idea is I want to read an arc of We Who Will Die, which is her book that comes out in December. However, I know that I have like a lot of Kindle books and a lot of arcs on this. So what I might do is continue the Kingdom of Lies series with book 3, but this is the one that I'm going to try to work in. This one is like Roman gladiators but if the Romans were vampires, which like also adds to the spooky season vibe of it. Now, like, obviously, like, it's not coming out until December, so it's not like a spooky season read, but like, I'm in my vampire era. I'm living my best vampire life. Maybe I need to do a vampire vlog. Do I have time for that? No, but that's what I want to read. So we're going to try to get to this one. Obviously, if we're getting to the end of the month and I need an audiobook, we might swap this one out for book 3 in the Kingdom of Lies, but this is the plan. All right, now next one is my prompt, and that's in 37, and it is a self-published book, an author that is self-published. And so I'm actually going to be reading a book by an author that I work with, and I'm going to be reading The Psalm of Ashen Silk by R.L. Davenor. This is the prequel novella to The Hells of Notre Dame that I read a couple of months ago and absolutely loved. It is a sapphic retelling of The Hunchback of Notre Dame meets Phantom of the Opera. And if you're like, what? There's also a lot of religious deconstruction in it. This one kind of went viral on TikTok because in one of the smutty scenes, she says, "Don't bring God's name into it. I want you screaming my name, not his." And like, let me tell you, this book is spicy. This book is steamy. It was a fantastic time. There's also a lot of like, just kind of working through religious trauma and the weight that the church puts on queer people and the guilt and the shame and things like that. And this was a wonderful book. Now, The Psalm of Ashen Silk is the prequel story to this that just came out this past week, and I haven't had a chance to read it yet, so I'm going to do that sooner rather than later. The next one is 069, and the prompt is Fate Decides. And so basically, you don't get to decide what it is. You do a poll pick, you do a coin flip, you can do a game, whatever. So I did a poll pick, and that is because I started my Patreon readathon a little early. Well, not early, I'm filming this late, but I didn't know what my first book of October was going to be, so I did a Patreon poll pick yesterday for the first 4 prompts of like which costume I was going to choose for my Patreon readathon, and this one was the Grim Reaper. So I'm apparently dressing up for Halloween as the Grim Reaper. That's what my Patreon decided, and that was to read an anticipated book. And so that one is going to be Soul Searching by Lila Sage. I'm actually halfway through it already. It is October 2nd, and I am already halfway through this. This book is already phenomenal. There's a lot of mental health representation. This is her newest one. It just came out. This is the same author that wrote Done and Dusted and the rest of the Rebel Blue Ranch series. And this one is a new series, but it's in the same world. And so there's a little bit of crossover to it, which is kind of cool, but it's like a different town. It's going to have a lot of the same like kind of family dynamics. Book 2 is like our female main character, like book 2 is about her sister. And so there's going to be a lot of that like, you know, interweaving of characters, and I love when romance series do that. But this is about Collins, who goes back to her hometown. She can see ghosts, but they're not talking to her, and so she's got this little bit of a mental block. And then she kind of gets involved with Brady, who is also in the town, and there's already been so much like discussion of mental health and taking care of yourself and doing what is right for you regardless of what other people are talking about. All while being a little spoopy and sexy. So we love that. And the last prompt that has come up so far is 066, which is audiobook and puzzle. And I'm actually not going to pick a specific book for this one. I will likely double up here just because like there's a lot of prompts here and I, you know, need the help sometimes. Who knows? I mean, I might end up picking a random book for it, but I'm going to listen to an audiobook and puzzle. Now, I'm going to have to stretch this one just a little bit because I don't do physical puzzles, and that's because I have big dogs. And if I tried to do a puzzle and I tried to put one on the table, it would be on the floor because that is tail height. And they like to wag their tails, and it would be on the floor. It would not work, okay? So I'm probably going to find like an app on my iPad or something like that. I've also been playing this game called Land Builder, which is essentially a puzzle where you like it's like Settlers of Catan, but only the puzzle part of it, where you're basically just trying to match like your little hexagon tiles to like so that they match somewhere else on your map, and you like there's objectives. There's like, you have to get a certain amount of stars. And then also there's things like, you know, you need a section of town spaces that are 50 tiles wide or something like that. So there's a puzzle, there's strategy involved in it. So I feel like maybe that kind of counts. I don't know. We'll see. If not, we'll find a puzzle app. We'll do something. But that is my TBR harvest TBR so far. Like I said, I am going to do a vlog style wrap up, and in that I will talk about any new prompts that come up because they happen every Friday. So actually, as you're seeing this, I think the next round has already come up, but I'm filming this early, obviously. Stay tuned for the end of the month and you'll be able to see if I got a bingo or not. And then like I said, I will also be doing Halloween, so I'll have vlogs for that. And I am doing Fright Night with my Patreon. If you are interested in that, it is available for my top 3 tiers. Like I said, it's a lot of fun. We do sprints, we have graphics, we have like, I mean, look how cute they are. They're so cute. Anyways, that's what I'm doing in October. Let me know a book that you are really excited about for the month. Are you a seasonal reader? Do you like to read the more like spooky stories? Do you like the paranormal? Do you lean into like the gothic? What vibe are you going for this season? And if you're not feeling chatty, let's do a pumpkin emoji or a ghost, whichever one you like. I don't know. I do really like the ghost emoji. If you want to check out what I have been doing recently, I'm going to put a video right here that YouTube thinks that you're going to like. I will see you over there. Go say hi. If you're new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little button that you can do so down below the video. If you'd like to hang out with me more, the links to my Instagram, my Goodreads, my Threads, and my Patreon are linked in the description down below. Thank you for watching and happy spooky season. See you next time.